Hello, my name is Christophe Tillemont, and I would like to show you what the features are for the release 2020.89 of Dream. Okay, let's switch to the figure. Here we are. One of the main features, the main new features, is that we have completely redesigned the main window. I mean, before we had the list on the left with all the workspaces, and on the right some preview. Actually, we switched to a thumbnail view, so we first have the workspaces in depth, then in time, and then the templates below. I mean, it's easier, you have an overview of all your projects. Okay, let's open one of the workspace, this one for example, and a new feature here is that when you move the mouse over an axis, you can see that there is a kind of tooltip that show you the value of your of the data you are visualizing at the location of the mouse. So this is very convenient. For example, if I'm using the depth and ROP, okay, this one, okay, let's use that one instead. Okay, here we are. But, the same, this is the same. I mean, we have a tooltip that show you the points value, so which makes very it's easy to catch the exact value of one point. The next improvement concerned the clustering toolbox. So I'm gonna close this and open a clustering toolbox. So this is this icon. It was already there on the previous version, but we have improved it a little bit, and I will show you how. Okay, let's show me. Sorry, let me show how it works. So the clustering toolbox require a few inputs. I will use two of them, and I will take the same two that we have here um, on the XY plot. I will drop them onto the clustering toolbox, and you see that actually three clusters is my selection. So I have three colors: a dark, a green, and a yellow color, and each of them correspond to one cluster, and it correspond to the to what you see here on the sides. Um, you can define, you can choose the number of cluster with this menu here, 4 or 5, and we see that the color has changed a little bit. I mean, the way we choose the color for the cluster is a quite complex process, but in short, if you have two colors that are close each together, for example, orange and red, that means that the centroid of those two clusters are very close together. And if you have a color that is really different, like this green, it means that the cluster is different. I can visualize that here in the cluster. You see that the cluster number 4 is the range of this cluster is located in somewhere else than all the others. So the 4 is probably the green one, and the others have all the same color. So in this case, I would say that 5 cluster is probably too much, but anyway. Um, something the new features here is that you can now define if an input must be in log or not, and you can put a weight to give more weight for one of the input if you want. Okay, let's export this cluster. I will do that here, export, and then you see that the cluster has appeared here. Um, if I want to use that, I can now close the clustering toolbox. But if you want to visualize the cluster, you just have to drop this vector, this new vector, onto a plot, and you see that the color is displayed on the side. If I drop that on the XY plot, it is the same, and we see that indeed the three first the cluster 1, 3, 4, and 5 are all at around the same place, and the green one is a little bit outside, which makes sense, which is again what was illustrated by the coral themselves, that are quite different. Maybe you have noticed when I have generated the vector that the mouse changed to a clock. I will show you that again. If I do an action, for example, I want to calculate, you see that the clock, the mouse changed to a clock. I mean, this is again a new improvement, because in the past, when Dream is busy, sometimes we don't know if it is busy or freeze, and so we had no indication of that. Actually, when the software is busy, you have this clock appearing instead of the mouse, so you know when the software is busy. All right. Another improvement is it concerns the preferences. Okay, let me show you that. In the preferences, before we had only one menu called preferences. Actually, we split it in three: general, mouse and keys, and export. Okay, the general is what was already there, but let's focus on mouse and keys. Actually, we change a little bit the way you can control the control scroll mouse. You can choose to zoom or drag. And also you can affect a key of your keyboard to perform certain actions. For example, toggle the move button. So the move button, if I'm coming back um, to my workspace, the move button is this blue wallet that allow to displays the toolbox on the screen. And we have a new shortcut which is the full zoom out. Actually, I'm using the home key. The one that you see here below are a special development for us. Okay, I confirm that. So, which means that if I zoom on a plot and then I click on the home key, I'm coming back to the full the visualization of the full section. Um, Another interesting features that is new in the preferences is that we have added some preferences to the export to the export figure, export the images. Before we can choose only the font characteristics, so the name, the size, and the weight. Actually, we can define as well the size of the figure in pixel in this case, but you can choose to work in centimeters, in points, or doesn't matter. By the way, the normalized is a function of your screen. So if you choose normalized, you have to put a value between 0 and 1. 1 corresponds to the screen size, and 0 to 0. Okay, let me show you that. If I'm exporting this plot to a figure, you see that this figure is now 300 by 300, which was what has been set up in the preferences. All right. We have as well worked, and this is really important, on the what we call the obsolete property. So let me show you. I will add the okay. Okay. No, I will move a little bit the features. Yeah. Okay. The principle is that, for example, this vector, the cluster that we just have created, was created using these two, DOC and RPM. So this means that these two vectors are the parent of that vector. I mean, they are older than one. The cluster is younger and has been created after the parent. But now, if I'm changing something in the parent, for example, if I'm changing one of the property, or if I'm updating this vector, for example, I will update this vector. Well, the child become obsolete because one of these parent is younger than him. And this means, and you see that actually it is in red here, and you can see that it is in red here. And you see that it's obsolete, update required. It means that if I want to take account of the modification that were done on one of the parent, I have to update that vector, and I can do that using that button here. I just have to confirm, and here we are. The cluster has been updated. So this is a very convenient way to immediately visualize if a vector become obsolete or not, especially for the one you create using some formula or whatever. All right. Another new feature is that we have added more possibility for the regression on the XY plot. Okay, let me show you that. Okay, this is a XY plot. I will drop okay, this and that. And as you know, we can, with a right click, I can add the regression line. For example, linear, that was already there. And in the last version, in the previous version, sorry, we have added the equation of that regression on the top. So if I'm focusing on part, or if I'm moving, the regression is adapted. Okay. But I have no more possibilities for the regression. We have cubic, power, logarithmic, and exponential regression. Okay, here the exponential, it has no real meaning because it's not the data are not really adapted. But okay, you have no more regression possibilities. Um, Another new feature, I'm gonna close this toolbox, I don't need it anymore, is the statistic toolbox. So this one, it has been completely redesigned. So, and this is the way it works now. You just select the vectors you want to, I will take the two that are displayed here. So the depth, DOC and WOB. I will drop them on the statistic toolbox. And you see that the statistics, it shows you where is located the points. So the weight on bit, we see that we have one big zone here and another smaller there, and this is what you see here. And you have some information with the tooltip again. If you change, this is updated, of course. Um, Actually, the horizontal axis is normalized between minimum and maximum, but this is something you can change um, here. But of course, okay, in this case, it's not very interesting because the order of magnitude of those two vectors are not the same. Um, by the way, if you drop a cluster onto that, it changed to another mode, and you see here all the I will increase the size. Okay, voila. You see that the statistics are displayed for every inputs and every clusters, and you have the percentile value of each of them. Okay, Um, well, this is everything I want to show you. I hope you will enjoy these new features, and do not hesitate to contact us if you have any question or suggestion about the features. Thanks for watching, and see you later.